Hey, what's up guys? It's time again for another Alliance War attack video. The last few videos I've pretty much done the same thing, and that's kind of walk you through the strategy, show you the attack, same old stuff. You've probably seen my attack at least 10 times now if you've watched my last 10 videos on that. Today we'll do something a little bit differently. I'm sure there's quite a few of you out there that are wondering if y'all can see a little bit of bots attacking or maybe even some quad tank attacks. So in this video, I'm going to show you my attack on this their first number Traylon, who currently is ranked #1 on survival leaderboards, which is pretty awesome. And then after that, we're going to take a look at Kim's attack, which you'll see right above mine. He is a Command Center level 9, and he attacked Sevilla, who is a Command Center level 11, pretty strong 11 being that, and got 3 stars on him. And then we'll take a look at Ace's attack on another Command Center 11 with bots. So you get to see 3 attacks today. I will just let them play. I'm not going to talk too much about it. This first attack that I'm going to show you is my attack on Traylon. He's got a solid base. I used more skill points on him than I usually do, probably closer to 3,000 to 3,500 would be my guess. Like most of my other attacks, well, in this particular case, I started on the gap on the bottom left and destroyed the hangars in the command center before I tripped them. Look at me, I'm still coughing. I'll speed this up because you guys kind of, I think, have a pretty good feeling of how my attacks go. Lightning strike, launcher, lightning strike to the gunship. Pretty standard attack for me. I also used another lightning strike on the bottom right side of your screen there on that bunker and finished it off with a launcher here in a minute. I started my dragon fires on the top, both sets of dragon fires with a couple of EMP artilleries to get those knocked out. And that was pretty much my attack on this base. It looks like I had to use 3 EMP artilleries and 3 lightning strikes, which is, again, a lot for me. I don't usually have to use that many, but this is a pretty good base. Obviously, he knows what he's doing since he's at the top of the leaderboards on survival mode, so he's a pretty well-known player. And this is also after the latest update, so Command Center level 11. My times may start going down a little bit after this update. The health points on all of the structures in a Command Center 11 went up. Not a whole lot, but enough to make a difference. So my 45 minutes to a minute 15 seconds may, I may average 5 or 10 seconds less. But I'm going to keep attacking the same way I always have. We'll go back to a bots. We'll look at a bots attack, and then we'll do the quad tank attack as well. We'll do Ace's attack next. Now with bots, really, instead of using soap, because I pretty much use soap for all of my attacks, attacking with bots isn't really, or care packages aren't really the best option for you, just because bots do move so fast. Instead of using a care package with soap or Harper, your best bet would be to use 3 heroes that can actually attack. Preferably ones that have EMP artillery. If you can use those 3 heroes around the map, not necessarily at the same place, and drop your bots along with them and the EMP artillery, that's a really effective way to 3-star a strong base, especially using minimal skill points. I think Ace used about 500 or so skill points on this attack. Starting off with the Claw and some Goliaths to empty out that hangar. Then he's going to use a few skills to finish off the communication center as well as those other bunkers. But once he gets done with that, you'll notice 2 of his heroes are on the bottom. Obviously, he's got a Ghost down there, and Ghost has a great EMP artillery. And if you'll notice, you've got a laser and a couple of lasers pretty close to each other, which would be a great place to start with the EMP artillery and then dropping the bots. And you'll see him do that in a second. As soon as that command center is left off. All right, here we go with the bots. Right on the bottom right, get those 2 lasers so they're not shooting, and start some bots down there. On the top, he drops Yuri and another EMP artillery to protect the bots from the right, and then he's also got bots coming from the top. So really the important thing with bots is not to start them all in the same area. They work very quickly, but they do have relatively low health points. So if they are all coming from the same area and they're all getting hit by a howitzer or a laser or a guardian or whatever the case may be, you don't want them all to be damaged at the same time. So coming from different sides of the map like that is really the best way to use bots. So great job on that attack, Ace, and that's a classic example of a good bots attack. Lastly, let's take a look at Kim's attack. And again, Kim is only a Command Center level 9. He's one of the newer members of my group here. Really excited to have him. I know there's a lot of guys that will talk trash on the quad tank users. You know what, man, if it gets the job done and you're a Command Center level 9 hitting 11, I say go for it. I mean, honestly, there's no rules against it. I think I've only got maybe a couple players on my team right now that use the quad tanks, but we'll let you see what it looks like. Soap, Ghost, and Reaper are his units, the same ones that I use. And again, as you can see, this is not a rushed or a weak Command Center level 11. Actually, it's pretty well upgraded. He'll start in the bottom with a Claw and some Goliaths and a care package to keep those guys alive, and that's pretty much the same way I start my attacks, except with the AGRs. And then once you get rid of those Warbird and the Claw, well, I believe he's probably going to start using some more skills on that second hangar as well as a comm center. But this attack strategy really starts very similar to mine. The trick is to get your ground units going while you're using the skills. And something that I see a lot of people mess up with or screw up on is they'll find a gap somewhere in the base and they'll plant their hero with a couple of RD1s, and they'll just start spending, you know, a minute and a half using a whole bunch of skills because, hey, their hero's not getting hit. Well, I mean, guess what? When that happens, all that time is wasted. All that time while you're using those hero skills, you could have a bunch of quad tanks, or you could have a bunch of ASAMs or AGRs, whatever the case may be, doing the work at the same time you're using your hero skills. And this is something I talked about in my very first Alliance War strategy video. And that really applies to almost every attack that there is. You don't want to waste so much time just using hero skills in a corner of the base where nothing else is happening. It's wasting time, and as tempting as it may be, because if you might see that perfect drop point, I really can't stress enough, that's not an effective way to fight. Really isn't. So essentially what Kim's doing while his ground troops are going is just using the care packages to keep them alive and the hero skills to take out the communication center, the other strong units up there. Excuse me. We'll speed this attack along a little bit. And I don't know how many skill points to use. I would imagine quite a few, because obviously all the care packages will use a lot. But if you do have the skill points to use, or if your team's in a tight spot and you have to attack someone who you might not be able to 3-star, this is a pretty much surefire method of assuring yourself 3 stars. Just because quad tanks are so strong, they have a high HP, they can take a few mines, and they can clear a base out pretty quick. Another great thing to watch out for is those bunkers, because if they do have a bunch of snipers in them, those are quad tank ASAM killers. So it's important when you're attacking this way, very important really, to clear those bunkers out before your quad tanks get to them, especially if they're starting to spread out like they are here, because they will slowly pick them off one by one. And that's going to be it for this war. This is our third war, unfortunately, for my new group, Alliance War Kings. It was a very close loss. I really can't complain at all. A lot of us fought really well. We've made a couple of small mistakes, but I think the group kind of knows what went wrong and how to avoid it in the future. For this being our third war, to face a alliance like this that's got someone, you know, Traylon, I don't know if he's had this this group for a while, but as new as we are, I'm really pleased with how we did, and we'll be going up from here. Our next war should be a 25 versus 25. I've got some more solid players in the way. So that'll be it for this video. Sorry for making it so long. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see y'all on the next one.